Perfect. All right. So those are some of the things that I want to teach you all. I got to teach you all how to think differently, how to leverage your money differently. Um, quite frankly, if we keep doing things the same way that we have been doing them, I am afraid for this next generation. And I say that because me being a financial advisor 17 years, I get to hear all of the stories. I get to see all of the fear, what everyone is afraid of. I get to see the fact that Social Security Administration has already stated that in 2034, they're projected to be out of resources unless they make some dramatic changes. So most of us, a lot of us are relying on Social Security that may not even be there. Um, I get to see the other side that when people who have been saving in their tax deferred plans like 401ks, their entire retirement, I mean, their entire working career, and then they get to retirement and all of a sudden they attempt to take money out of their account and don't realize that 25 to 30% of that money goes away because of taxation. And they wonder why they have to pay so much taxes. And they don't realize that the government owns as much of that money as they do. Right. So I get to see that side of it. Right. I get to see the fact that pensions are becoming endangered species. They no longer exist the way that they used to exist anymore. So um, if we don't make some changes, it's going to get worse. 70% of people already run out of money before they pass away, and it's going to get worse. And that's why we have to do something different. We got to do something different, or else we are, we're going to set ourselves up for disappointment. So, with that being said, you all, let's go ahead and open the door. So the way this is going to work, I know you may not have a lot of questions right now because of the fact that we haven't even went through our first lesson. But if you have any questions or if you have any um, thing that you absolutely want to get out of this, you've had a chance a night to think about it and you know what you need to get out of this class, then if you hit reactions at the bottom and raise your hand, I will call on you. Um, I will call on you to come up. And I do ask if you are just a part of the insurance class, say the questions for the VIP if possible, because those people have paid a lot of money to be in here. So that's the only request that I do have. So that way we can get to as many people questions as we can. What's going on? What's going on, Mr. Payne?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
Doing pretty swell. My question is, what are the top five investment vehicles that you recommend for entrepreneurs to store cash? And I know you mentioned the cash value life insurance. Yesterday, you mentioned the tax. It was three buckets. What was the bucket in the
Tax
one?
deferred, tax advantage, in the tax now, basically.
Yeah, tax
That's a
advantage.
great question. So here's what I will say, and here's what I won't say. I'm not going to give you specific investments, which I know you're not asking for, because the investments change from different seasons and different times. So I'm more so concerned about the structure and how you're saving. So, for example, if I have $100,000 and that $100,000 grows into $1 million, let's say in one account it was a tax deferred account, IRA or 401k, my 100,000 go to $1 million. But now it's time for me to take it out on the back end, and I have to pay $400,000 in taxes just to get my $1 million out. So I just gave the government 400,000 versus if I have $100,000 in a Roth IRA and it grows to $1 million, the exact same investments, that entire $1 million growth is completely tax free. So not only did I grow the money, I also preserved $400,000 from taxation. So with that being said, my top vehicles will be definitely a cash value life insurance. A Roth IRA is also a really good vehicle to put your money into. Different types of life insurance policies. So, for example, you got a cash value whole life, and then you have a cash value index universal life. Those are great as well. Um, if you are retired or close to retirement, a good one would be an annuity will be a good one because you have a good principal protection, and especially an index annuity, you can grow your assets. I wouldn't necessarily do an annuity if I'm in my 30s or 40s, because the growth rate it's not as great. I would not do mutual funds. I would stay away if possible from mutual funds because it has loaded fees. Within those mutual funds, I would more so gear toward ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, which works just like index funds, but they're traded on the New York Stock Exchange. That way, you're being efficient and you have the lowest expense ratio on those types of portfolios. And I would just say, I still think a portion of your money, not a lot, but I still believe a portion of your money you should be still considering crypto as well. I think there's still, it's people have been quiet about crypto because it's not as popular as it was because of course it went down in value, but it's starting to come back up in value. And I still believe crypto is going to be something that will explode and people are going to be talking about it again. The question is that will you have a piece of it before everybody start talking about it again? Because by the time that everybody starts talking about it again, it's almost too late. So
Okay.
you want to get into something. That's one of the rules. You actually want to get into things when nobody's talking about it anymore. By the time they're talking about it, you've missed it. You've missed the crowd. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does.
And then, of course, I will say this too. Um, an investment asset is businesses. You got to learn that, right? You got to learn how to invest in businesses, not just have a business, but eventually you want to learn how to invest in businesses as an asset class, which is something that you do really well, Mr. Payne, and I'm still really learning about as well. But that's definitely one of the highest grossing. Once you learn these business principles, you can scale that. You can scale that knowledge into doing the same thing to different businesses, and that's really where that growth truly multiplies. And also getting equity in other people's businesses. That's real money in there. So appreciate the question, bro. All
All right.
right.
Next up, we got Mr. Burse.
Zevere. Zere.
Zavre, you gonna get it.
Zevere.
You get it. You gonna get
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna
How
keep
y'all
trying.
doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Great, great. My question, short and sweet. What I'm really looking to get out of this is, I think I mentioned this the other day, but I just want to just drill this home. I think a lot of people are looking at this is how to just create my private bank and how to use that bank to build my various real estate companies and investment companies.
Okay, say that again. I don't know why I
Yeah.
was expecting a continuation, but you stopped there. So say it again.
Okay.
I wasn't listening right.
Gotcha. No problem. Basically, what I'm looking to get out of this and what I'm looking to really just really get the roadmap is how to build my wife and I, our private bank, how to utilize, we already have a trust, but how to utilize what we already got and how to, put all the pieces together and how to structure it to where we can build our various real estate companies and now our construction company.
I love it. Got you. Okay. Well, this we're gonna be talking about a lot of that this first day today. So you might get your questions answered real soon. We're just gonna build on it every day. Appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know.
Love it. And if there's anybody that wants to come up and just introduce themselves that didn't get a chance last night, feel free to do so. And take advantage of this time, guys, to ask any questions, because there's not many times when you get to sit down with somebody like Marvin like this for 30 minutes to just, ask any questions you want. So you can use that hand raise feature, come up. And
pick my brain. Pick my brain.
Here we go. Derek's up. We said that and they all threw it back up. All the hands are back up. Derek, what's up, man? Hold on. Let me see. Let me unmute you
Oh,
here.
you're on mute. Let me
There we
see.
go. You should be good. Huh, that's weird. We're unmuting you, but it's not working for some reason. So we'll keep you up here and we'll go to Sierra next. Sierra, we'll pull you up here and Eric, we'll keep trying with you there. But Sierra, you're up.
All right. Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All
Make
right.
sure that you hit unmute too, Derek. Try to hit unmute. Go ahead, Sierra.
Hey, okay. Yeah, happy Monday, everybody. I'm really excited to be on the class. My name is Sierra. I actually came to P2P conference. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm super excited. Learned a lot. Um, I'm on here because I recently got a life insurance policy. It's a convertible term, and I just want to make sure that I'm converting it at the right time and just really getting as educated as possible on whole and IULs because that's the ultimate goal, right? So I got the terms. I wanted to lock in, like, when I have good health and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm just really just trying to get more educated because I've heard it. I have some mentors that have used it, like you mentioned, to borrow from, to invest in business, real estate, all the different assets. So I want to get to that point, and I really do want to make it happen before the end of 2024.
That's amazing. First off, congratulations for taking some action on your
Thank you.
finances. And I know you look super young. I'm not going to ask how old you are, but
I'm older
uh,
than you think I am, but I get that a lot. Yeah.
okay. Do you have children?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Um, and what was your ultimate goal for this term insurance, convertible term insurance?
Yeah, so I want to convert all the term to pool or IUL, but I want to be able to borrow from it. So I know there's a difference as far as how much you can borrow from either and the timeline for borrowing. So just to get a better understanding of the difference and which one makes more
Okay.
sense.
So this is just me being inquisitive,
Okay.
because I don't know. So when you got the term insurance, if the ultimate goal was to eventually get converted to the whole life where you can eventually borrow against it, just curious, why didn't you just go for what you wanted?
Yeah, so the reason being was I was laid off last year when I was shopping for it, and they're like,
Hmm.
well, it's gonna be more expensive to pay for this one every month as a IUL or a whole. So you can get it, lock it in at term for a lower price, and then convert it, once you got more secure income coming in regularly.
Got you. The only reason why I say that is the convertible term is good, but understand that when you do convert it over, I'm not sure if when you convert it over, if you'll get the type of whole life policy that you're looking to get.
Okay.
Because a lot of times it converts to term, it converts from term to whole, but it's not. It's typically the whole is not structured the correct type of way. So I'm not saying it doesn't work for you. We would have to look at it, but you got to watch out when you do those convertible terms for that purpose because there are some specifications and stipulations that's attached to it that may or may not be what you're looking for down the road. And every year that you wait to convert it, of course, that fee does get higher. And the good news is you do lock in your health, but you will have to pay the fee for whatever that is when you do convert it over. So now I'm not against term insurance. So I'll say that off the top. A lot of people think that I'm against term because I'm constantly talking about the cash value, but that's not true. Up until recently, I had term as
Hmm.
well, in addition, as one of my assets, because I know that I had a lot of debt and I got young kids, and I wanted to make sure that if something were to happen to me, that I have term that was covering that. But for my growth, I wanted to look at it completely separate. For growth, building up my cash value life insurance, I wanted to get the tool that it was used for, which is the actual cash value whole life or the index universal life. Because even when you convert it over, understand that that money isn't going directly to the cash value. You're going to have to start over saving from the cash value at a new point at zero if you could structure it the right way. So what I'm going to urge you to do, and again, I don't know your job situation now. I know you got laid off at one point, but I
Hmm.
will recommend that you actually look to start a new cash value policy when you can, and not counting on that convertible because you want to make sure that you have all access to structure it the way that you want to structure it in the first place.
Okay, no, that's actually super helpful. All right,
Yeah, but
awesome.
again, I don't know the rules in yours. So again, each one of these companies work differently. So and that's one of the things that when you do set it up, with my team, for example, let us review what you do have, and that way we could say, hey, you actually got one that converts the right way. So make sure that we review it first.
Okay, and I have a question about that too. So like with loans, like student loans or, certain mortgages, you can refinance and go to different companies. So if you have a life insurance policy with one provider, can you switch and roll it over or convert it to another, or is that not how policies work?
Well, you can always do a 1031 exchange, 1030, I think it's 1031 exchange and move it from one policy to another policy.
Oh, I didn't know
But
that.
yeah, would it be beneficial is the question. So especially cash value. I mean, with cash value, you can. We do that all the time. If we have a policy that was old and not as good anymore, we could switch that policy over and use that cash value to fund a new policy.
Okay. All right,
Yep.
awesome. Thank you.
It's a great question.
I'm in the right place. I'm loving this. Thank you,
You
Marvin.
are. I'm glad you're here. All right, Michael, who we got next?
All
Show
right.
the
Next,
room.
we're gonna pull up Luis.
Hello, Marvin.
What's up, Luis?
Thanks for having your class. My wife Stacy.
Hey,
I told
Stacy,
her
how you doing?
she
Good,
had
how
to
are
sit
you?
in on this because the initial call was phenomenal. So
Thank you.
I had her sit in on this. And we had some top policies, but I think you kind of answered my first question when you said not all of them can be converted into like a cash value whole life insurance policy. Because I have two terms and I have a cash value one. She has cash value one. Um, so I know that you answered that part pretty much. And my next question was I don't remember her name, Christina Yvette. If
Mm-hmm.
she was just going to be on just Thursday to
No, she's actually in this room right now, and she's going to teach one of the days, but she'll also be here in future VIPs to answer any questions as well.
okay, because my wife was trying to she had a class that my wife was trying to get on about the trust.
Yeah.
I think during the day, but my wife couldn't get onto it, so I didn't know.
Did you so you paid for it?
No,
No,
no, she
I didn't
couldn't.
know how
Okay.
to. All right.
So she's having her own 5-day challenge this week, and that class is during the day. And Christina, you want to drop that link just in case? I know it just started today, but she has recordings where if you still want to get on that, you could just watch the recording and just pick up from where you left off. And I think it's like 2,500, but within
Yeah.
that class, you actually will have an entire 3 different trusts set up completely before the end of that time frame. So um, I'm not sure if let's see, Chris. All right, Christina, are you available?
Yes, I'm available. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, can you just drop the link? Just drop the link really quick for your
Okay.
class.
All right, let me see if I could DM it to them. What is the
And what
name?
was your name, ma'am?
You could put it under Lewis.
Oh, yeah,
Mine's,
Louis
but I'm
Gonsalves.
not on
Okay.
there, so
Okay.
Now, what about the fact that we have our trust set up already? So we was wondering like how you set up the trust, but I thought that was going to be, I don't know if that was in your class or it was in Marvin's class.
Yeah, that's her that really teaches all about the
Okay.
trust. So,
Okay.
and she'll teach a little bit about it during this challenge, but if you want to dive deeper, and even if you already have a trust, what I'm going to say is you want to make sure it's the right type of trust because is it a revocable trust or is it irrevocable trust? Do you have the ministry trust? Do you have the business trust? Do you have the family trust? So it's all these different trusts that you want to make sure that you have it right because a revocable trust, which is what most people have, don't actually protect your assets. So it's just something that you want to kind of look at. Like, for example, when I got my trust set up, I paid a lot of money and still had the wrong type of trust. It was a revocable trust. So my assets wasn't even protected. So I had to learn the hard way. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I definitely
So,
appreciate you all. Drop that link in the chat, Christina.
Okay.
Marvin,
Appreciate you.
thank you,
Thank
Christina.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right. We have who else? Who do we have next? We got time for one or two more.
Steve, you're up.
And I don't know if Derek got his sound working too, but I know I think he might have things working now too. What's up, Steve?
My question may have been partially answered with the last comment because I had found out there are all types of trust out there, and so my question was going to be through this. Is there a particular type of trust that we're going to be focusing on, and if so, which one and what would drive that?
Yep, that's exactly it. So we're going to talk about, you're going to learn about the difference between the revocable and the irrevocable trust and how to effectively use it. But there's a couple of trusts that also will help you from taxation, which is huge as well. A lot of people don't know about, for example, the ministry trust, which is a trust where you actually will become a minister, you ordained minister, and you actually will be able to minimize your taxation that way. And then you have, and again, I'm not going to go too deep into it. If we had more time, I would have Christina come up and explain them. But yes, we will be focused on the business trust. We'll be focused on the ministry trust, and we'll be focused on the family trust as well. Thanks so much, Steve. And again, this is going to be a really good sample size on trust, but you will have an opportunity to learn how we can dive even deeper. What's up, Derek?
Hey, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can
Perfect.
hear you. What up? You good?
Hey, so my question was, I'm a new individual. I don't know anything about insurance. I'm trying to go in for day trading, but what piqued me was the idea of creating your own bank. A lot of people in here really like that concept. What is something that someone my age or even, in that early year lifestyle kind of forgets? And, like what should we be keeping in mind as we move forward in life?
Yeah, I mean, you should keep in mind that, I mean, I know this is going to sound very cliche, but it's quite frankly the truth. I mean, the quicker you start, the better off you're going to be long term. You get so many benefits to starting when you're young. Number one, the death benefit is always higher. Number two, the cash value is going to grow just a little bit faster. You're going to be able to get started with less, and it's going to have the opportunity to accumulate more over time. You're going to have liquidity use and control for more of the time. Whereas, for example, when you put money into a 401k, let's say if you're 25 putting money into a 401k, you can't touch that money without a penalty until you're 59 and a half. So that's what, 20, 25, more than that. That's 30 plus years that you can't even touch the money without taxes and without penalty. So imagine if you start when you're 25, 26, then you're 35, you're 39, 40 years old, you got all of this money. I started mine when I was 25. So I was 25 when I started mine. Now I have over $700,000 in cash value. Well, now I can do anything I want to do with that $700,000 cash value. I borrowed against it and bought apartment buildings, got my money back. I borrowed against it to buy a $1 million house, $2 million house, sorry, $2 million house. I borrowed from it, buy a house, and I rented that house off and made money from it. So you're just going to have more time to leverage your money and make money over time. So just get started.
Awesome.
And you
Thank you.
don't
I
have
did
to
it
get
today.
Yeah, and you get started right now. The great thing is, even if you have more, I mean, you're going to have more money later because you're going to make more money over time. And when you do, you just start another policy. So I started with one policy. I only was doing about 9,000 a year in that one policy. But now I have policies where I do over $100,000 a year in. I just started a policy where I dumped in $500,000 into a policy at one time. So I couldn't do that when I was 25, but I knew the concept so well that I felt very comfortable dumping in 500,000. Whereas if I wasn't comfortable, I would be really afraid to dump in 500,000 at one time. So just start learning early.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. It is time to get started with Jennifer. What we'll do is, let me go ahead and stop this live.